Hello, everyone. It's Marcy here with Professional Notary Services and the New York Notary Alliance. And happy 2025. I just was thinking I should have put up a fun background with like fireworks or something, but I didn't. So just pretend, visualize that I have a very cool Happy New Year background. But I also have Karen Kurchyne here. We're so excited from Ladybug Healing. Karen, thank you for coming again this year. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me back. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited about the year to come, and I'm glad for the invite. So nice to talk to you again.
Talk to you, and I'm excited for the year to come too. But tell me why you're excited for the year to come.
So this year, 2025 is actually in numerology. It's a 9-year. And a 9-year is all about completion. And it's not just about completion, it's completion with beginning. So it's a lot about let's finish up this stage of life and world and business that we're in, and let's get ready for what's to come. And so I'm excited about what we're going to wrap up and what we're going to complete this year, and also what we'll get ready for in the next stage of what's to come for us.
I'm excited about that, hearing that too. I love the idea of like, let's wrap it up, right? Cross it off the post-it note list, get it off the to-do, whatever you started last year, let's clear it up and get a fresh, clean slate going forward. So, oh, go ahead.
100%. And you hit the nail on the head. I love to-do list when you can check it off because you know you've got it done. There's a really good satisfaction with that.
So is that in all things? Like, is that both in personal and professional and business and money? Sometimes, these years are focused on one thing over another. When we talk about completion here, are we talking about all the things?
I feel like, yes. I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes in our professional lives, in our business lives, in our personal lives, health lives, as well as globally as well. So I think this year is going to bring a lot of things to a close, and we're going to see a lot of changes in 2026. So 2025 is really, let's clean things up. Let's really put it to bed. Let's put it in the file cabinet. Let's be done with where we're at and get ready for the stage to come.
Now, in order to do all that, a lot of times when I'm trying to decide what's something that I want to do, I ask, does that particular thing serve my highest and best self? Right? Is that really what's going to be best for me, those around me personally, me business wise? Like, I try to figure out, is that what's going to be the best course of action, the most appropriate, right? Not always necessarily best in that it'll make me tons of money or rich, successful, or famous, but like what's going to actually do my soul, right? All those things the best. What can we do to accelerate some of this closure this year?
Well, it's funny first that you picked that up because the 9 correlates to, in the tarot deck, the Hermit, which is about going within and seeing what you need for you. So you hit the nail on the head. We want to kind of see what we need and where we need to be and what changes we can do to affect the completion to come. One of the things that I'm feeling as far as how to accelerate that is that, a lot of folks at the end of a year will be happy to kind of finalize their calendar, and they'll put files away and they'll clean up their office. I think there's a lot that we need to do with that, just as far as the way we move through life. It may be eating habits, it may be our business aspect and how we go through that business. We need to do the same thing of cleaning up. So it's a little bit of let's clean up the old way that we did things and let's plan for what's new. Holding on to that old paperwork, think about feng shui. Holding on to that old stuff just stops us in that process. And it also detracts you from, oh, look, I forgot about this. And you get caught up in something that is not serving you in this year ahead. So let's clean it up. Let's get it out of the way. And let's focus on the direction that we're going.
I love that. My keyword for this year, I used to do like tons of New Year's resolutions, and then I was so disappointed because it never panned out for me. I wasn't good at the follow-up. So the last 2 years, I've kind of picked a word that I want to use throughout the year. And this year, it's so funny. So that is really intention. I want to work towards what I do. There's intent behind it, not just, hey, this is a good idea. What's the intention about getting this done? What is my intentional marketing plan this year, right? Let's really get some concrete bullet points down. Let's really work towards that end goal in a very focused, intentional way. And sometimes last year I was all over the place, not in a bad way, but I was trying to do all of the things. And this year, I think I'm going to try to pull it back in a little bit and see how that works out.
100%. And I get that. It's funny because I always look for a word at the beginning of the year as well. And the word that I got for this year was stand. And when we think about that, it goes along with what you're saying. We've got to intentionally stand in our place, stand in our power, stand up, stand, strong, stand in the place that is going to make you take that step forward in your intention on what you want to bring in. If we just stand and not do anything with the intention, we're stuck. We're stopped. We're not having any progression into where we really want to go. But to then take a step forward in those intentions, because that's the hardest part. We set the resolutions and we set the intentions, and then we don't do anything about them. And if we've got to constantly remind ourselves, take a step forward, take an action, make it happen.
Now, you said something in there that was really critical for me, and I know I'm not the only person who suffers from this, but sometimes I just get really stuck, right? You're just in the weeds. You kind of think you know where you're going, and then something happens that either digresses a little bit from your actual plan, or it stops you in your tracks, or it's not working out the way that you thought it was going to. And sometimes that can be very daunting, overwhelming, and you're like, "Whoa, now what do I do?" Most of the time, I think most of us plow through and move forward, but every once in a while, we sort of get stuck in that. How can we unstick, especially this year when we're trying to complete stuff? I know I'm not the only person out there who might have something that they're just having a really hard time of either getting done or letting go of, because completion can be that as well, right? Letting go of something.
100% completion. When we think about it, and you think the easiest way to relate that is when it's the end of a journey for somebody that you love, that completion comes with grief, and it can come with sadness and challenge and wanting to have closure and not having closure. It's all of those things. So when we look in our personal aspects and in our business aspects, when you start to get that stuck feeling, what we tend to do is we dive down into it. So here I am, this is me, this is what I have to be right now. I am stuck. What do I do? And I really feel like if we can take one step forward in any manner whatsoever, let's say that you've got 5 intentions that you've set and you feel stuck in one, and that's your personal life, and that part for you isn't moving forward, take a step forward in another area in your life, because that momentum is going to pull you in the other area out of the place of being stuck at the same time. And I would also say, one of the things we forget to do sometimes when we are so strong and we are used to doing things on our own is we forget to ask for help. And I think there's times to, rely on somebody that somebody that you trust. Perhaps it's a peer, it's a mentor. Ask a question and say, I'm a little stuck. You got any ideas of where I could go forward? You don't have to take all of that advice, but it may be something that just greases the gears to get them moving again. And next thing you know, you're moving forward.
I love that. I was going to say that, so I love that you said that. Asking for help, and help doesn't, like you said, always need to be like, give me an idea necessarily, but sometimes help just is really, let me talk it out loud, right in front of someone else. Let me say it outside of my inner voice, because a lot of times that just churns, right? Putting it out loud gives it a different intention, gives a different tone altogether. Sometimes another person can be helpful. Sometimes it's a matter of them listening, but certainly I think for a lot of us, asking for help is difficult. I know it's difficult for me. So I try to think of help in terms of who can I at least get this out and talk to? Who can I, have a conversation of, hey, the last time you got stuck, how did you unstick, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be the exact one-on-one situation, but just a conversation sometimes is even equated to help.
Well, and even if they give you something, you're like, that's not it. I've already thought of that. Sometimes what is the thing that you don't want or is reinforced you don't want pushes you away from it. And that's the energy that propels you forward as well. So it's good to even hear from somebody who's got a point of view that you're like, yeah, I already knew that, or no, I really don't want to do that. It reinforces the direction that you want to go in.
Awesome. All right, last question before we start our meditation blessing.
Yes.
How, for those of us in business, what should be this year of 9 focus business wise? Like, where should we really dig down in? What should we let go of? What does it look like for us in that business space?
I feel like this year is ironically not about a finance focus, so a money goal. A lot of times that's where we go in our businesses. I want to make X amount or I want to achieve this. I feel instead this year should be really focused on I want to complete the stage that I'm in, and even if it's only a few months stage or it has been a few years for you, I want to complete this stage so that I know what I'm standing on to where I'm going to go. So focus on what is really getting done that you don't want to do anymore so that you can stand on top of that and move forward on what you want to come in the future. There's a little bit of not just completion, it's completion with planning, it's completion with growth. So you really want to both take a look at what you want to get done and what you want to complete. And I would say what skills and experiences you may have used for a long time that you don't want to use anymore. And how can you move your or create your next stage to be something that is really enjoyable and a forward focus for you in a really good way.
I love that. So if you started a training, get that training finished, right? If you're working on a marketing plan, get that plan finalized. If you're trying to add another service, or listen, if you're getting rid of a service, if you're bringing in customers, or it's time to get rid of those customers that no longer serve your business, it sounds like this is a good time to do all of that.
100%. And there's a part in there, and I often will discuss this with my coaching clients of, are you enjoying this? Do you love this? Is this something that you love to do? If it's not, why are you doing it? The answer can be, well, it makes me money. Okay, but wouldn't you rather do something that you enjoy doing and makes you money at the same time? If you're holding on to this thing, it's taking away your time and energy from the thing that's going to make you really have a good time with earning that money. So look at the things that I don't want to say wasting energy on, but you are wasting it compared to where you go to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And, like we said, I mean, everyone's going to have moments of, why am I doing this? We're not talking about, though. We're talking about if you are overwhelmingly unhappy with what you're doing, making small changes can be super beneficial. It doesn't mean you have to make a complete, turnaround in job, but certainly making small adjustments, trying other things, dipping your toe into the water to other aspects of even in your life, right? Maybe you don't love your business 100%, but you have a volunteer gig or something else that you do that could you implement into your business strategy. I mean, those kinds of things involve a little bit of creativity, but certainly an opportunity to look into that for the new year.
Well, and yes, and absolutely. And it's important that volunteer opportunity that you do may end up also giving birth to a business opportunity that comes off of that. And that's not the reason you did it. That's not what you were looking for. But all of those things add to the energy of your life. They add to the energy of your business, and it turns it up in a really, really good way. So wholeheartedly look to all aspects in your life to really find where the I want to say the forward propulsion. Where is it going to take me forward, and where does it feel good in going forward in that?
All right, business planning. All aspects of business planning is really a great focus at the beginning of every year, right? Taking a look back, taking a look forward, and then implementing those two pieces into the present. So we did last year, you did this great visualization, meditation type of thing. And for those of you who are like, I don't meditate, it's not like that. Stay, because you're going to love this, and a little bit of a blessing for the new year. Yes. So super excited. I'm going to turn that right over so we can get that started.
Sounds great. So I'm going to ask anyone that's watching and everyone that's watching, just take a moment, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths in. Always good if you can do it through your nose and out through your nose as well. But not wrong if you do breathe out through your mouth. I want you to feel yourself in the space that you're in. And feel that there's an open space that is around you. So if you're in a smaller office, feel like you've moved to a bigger office or you've moved outside. And notice that around you, there are bricks that are laying on the ground or the floor all around you. Pick one up, look at it, turn it around. Somewhere on this brick are words, a label, or a title of something that you've worked on. It is a project or a client or a goal or a task or a accomplishment that you have worked on. Recognize it for what it is. And when you get a chance and when you're ready, place it firmly on the ground in front of you. Level. You don't need to know that it's perfect. You know that it's perfect. You don't need to see that it's perfect. You can feel that it's perfect. Lay it down level on the ground and choose another brick. This again has words on it that are something that you've worked on, that you've focused on, that you have completed. It may be a stage to something that you've worked on. I want you to take that, or a chapter, by the way, a title of yours, a label of yours, and place that near the other brick. Continue through the bricks that are on the ground around you. And as you place them, you're going to start to build a staircase so that each brick that is placed is working with the rest to be a rise upward for you. And notice that the bricks don't seem to have an end. There are additional ones as you pick one up and you place it easily. As you continue to place the bricks, you will naturally need to stand on one of the steps to rise up to place some more, and so on and so forth. These bricks are easy enough for you to pick up. They're not too heavy, they're not too light, but they are substantial for you to be able to stand on them because you've done a lot in your life. You've accomplished a lot, you've worked for a lot. You may not have always recognized it or given it recognition, but there is quite a bit to who you are in this place you're in today. Continue to build this staircase as it rises, and notice that automatically other bricks fall behind and around to make this staircase solid. Because there are aspects of your work life, of your personal life, and of who you are that you may not think of at this moment that are still a part of what you're building. And when you reach the top, whether it is 5 steps or 50, there is a landing. There is a space for you to stand. It's a space for you to stand up, to stand tall, to stand strong, and to stand in your power. Turn around and look at that stair. See where you've come from. See what you've built. See what is a part of who you are today. Stand in a position of proud power. Stand in a position of strength and in reassurance and in confidence of who you are. And then turn away and look at the space that's in front of you. Because this is the next stage of where you're to go. And the next set of stairs that you will build. This is what's to come, and it's wide open. And what you choose to build in front of you will come easily to you as this year progresses forward. And what was most important is that you took those scattered bricks on the ground and you organized them into your own rise to your success. The future is open and you have everything you need. So make sure to have a little fun as you go. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Take some time and breathe with that image. And even if it takes you a little bit longer and you want to sit with this very meditation later, I would encourage that. Sit with it and picture what other bricks you would add to that staircase if you want. And also, you know, is there a brick that you added that was a stage that you didn't finish that now you remember you want to finish it up this year? So look to that as well.
Yeah, rebuilding, right? And you
Absolutely.
can do this several times throughout the year, once a quarter, redo it, adjust. I mean, I think that's the nice thing about what we do is that you can remove a brick and replace it with something else, right? Or your staircase doesn't have to be straight up and down. It can be a twirly spiral staircase. Like this is all your sort of imagery to help you move throughout the year.
Absolutely. And I would say, in all seriousness, when I do things like this, I decorate it, right? I want it to be something that I'm proud of, that's fun. I love that you said it could be spiral. I think of, there's a song, I forget what play it's from, where, you know, it's a wonky staircase. Make it a wonky staircase if you want, as long as you know that it is secure enough for you to stand upon and then build upon it as the time is to come. It's kind of like building a skyscraper. You got to start at the floor and build from there.
I was just thinking, people who do vision boards, that would be a really cool vision board, is to cut out bricks and then write on that paper brick, however you do it, you know, whatever it might be. And then you can paste it on that vision board and then, you know, move them around or throw a magnet on it and put a magnetic board if you're super fancy.
That's perfect. I love that. That's a great way to be able to reinforce, because what does that visualization do for us? It reinforces what our belief system is because it's tangible then. I love that, Marcy.
I so appreciate you, Karen. Thank you so much for,
Thanks,
again, coming out and giving us a hand to move into 2025. Any parting words for our audience?
Yeah, I want to say, you know, part of that word stand to me is I wish each person that's listening and anyone connected to each person that's listening as well, a blessing of recognizing how much you bring to the table in this life, how strong you are, how capable you are, how much you have to give, confidence, you know, a nice balanced confidence. I think, you know, if we can all see that, we can come together in such a beautiful way to support each other, to help each other, to not feel competition because we're secure in who we are, and we can just raise to heights together that are just so much higher.
It's so true. For everyone on here, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this proves helpful as you navigate both your personal and business life here in 2025. Karen, thank you so much for joining us again this year. I'm so happy to have you. I'm going to drop your website into the description in the comments here. And then if anyone wants to reach out to Karen, you can. She has an amazing newsletter too. You can subscribe to that so that you can get good, fun stuff throughout the day. My staff always tells me, Marcy, at the end of each video, you need to tell people to like, subscribe, and share. And I always say, oh, I never remember. So today I remembered. Please like, subscribe, and share and spread the word on this great 2025 meditation. Thank you all so much again. Thank you, Karen. I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful year.
I wish you well.